Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Trump's new campaign promise. We're going to talk about his campaign promise, something that he is saying he is going to do if he ends up back in the White House. And we're going to talk about it in two ways. We're going to accept it at face value and talk about that aspect of it, why he wants to do it. And then we're going to talk about something else. Because the last time this conversation came up in the United States, outlets within the U.S., I believe they did a disservice. The reporting was, in my opinion, less than adequate, so we are going to go over it. What did he say? He promised to remove the generals if he wound up back in the White House, because the military's gone woke, so he's going to get rid of all of those generals. We'll come back to the concept of a woke military in a moment, but before that, let's talk about something more important. Prior to the 6th, a whole bunch of outlets in the United States, they ran around talking about how Trump might use the military to try to retain power. So much of this coverage, a whole bunch of messages came in from y'all, and it prompted a video in which I said, nah, that's not going to happen. And here are the reasons why. It's not going to happen. If he's going to try to retain power, he's not going to try to use the military. He's going to try to use the courts. And the reason he couldn't use the military is because he didn't have a number of things. The first was control of the military. And I know somebody's about to say, no, he's commander-in-chief. He has control of the military. No, that is civilian control of the military. That's a concept that exists in this country that actually serves as a roadblock to this type of behavior. He needed people with stars on their shoulders because at that point in time, if the people that have civilian control of the military, those political appointees, they would have to walk into a room with a whole bunch of guys that have stars on their shoulders and tell them that they're going to subvert the Constitution. I wouldn't want to be the person that was asked to do that because I like to leave rooms I enter. And with the generals that were there at the time, he was not going to use them. He was not going to use them in that way. That is literally step one. And I mean that. It's the first item on the list. He's trying to change that. He's trying to alter that flag rank staff that he would need. He's going to fill them with loyalists. This should be a concern. There are other things that he would need. If you hear him start talking about how Europe can take care of itself and we need to bring our troops back to the U.S., or we need to increase recruitment in the reserves and the National Guard and all of this stuff, you better start paying attention. I'll put the video down below. Based on what he said, this isn't his reason for doing it. But that doesn't really mean much to me. This is an issue. Now let's go to his stated reason, the woke military. If you believe the military shouldn't be woke, then you shouldn't be commander-in-chief, period, full stop. You certainly shouldn't be the person selecting new generals. What is the first thing the U.S. does when it shows up in a hostile country? I mean, other than destroy the air defenses. It tries to establish a rapport with the locals. Which ones? Those that were marginalized by the current government there. Those that experienced systems of injustice. The U.S. has to establish a rapport with them because they need them. Those people become interpreters. They become intelligence assets, a whole bunch of things. The U.S. needs them. So, if the U.S. military was woke, meaning alert to injustice and understanding of systems of injustice in the United States, well, that would be a benefit because it's transferable. Because systems of injustice all around the world, it's a lot like history. It doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes. And it makes it easier for them to establish that rapport. Yes, the generals do, in fact, need to be woke. It's kind of a thing. Contrary to a lot of really bizarre views of them, the brass, they're supposed to be incredibly well educated. Most people that are viewed as real tough guys, they're incredibly well educated. I have never in my entire life heard a special operations guy say, don't learn that, because all knowledge is useful. So his stated reason is garbage. An underlying benefit for him is something that we should really be concerned about. This is something to pay attention to. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.